There's a belief that's quietly crippled generations of men, that without money, looks, or status, you don't stand a chance with women. That if you're not tall, rich, or famous, you'll always be the guy she overlooks. And so most men don't even try to play the game. Or worse, they play it by someone else's rules. They chase money just to feel worthy. They overcompensate. They fake confidence instead of building it. But what if everything you've been told about attraction is backwards? What if the things you think make you less attractive are completely irrelevant? Because here's the truth. Women don't respond to what you have. They respond to who you are beneath the surface. Let's break down how to become magnetic to women without needing to change your face, your income, or your title. Attraction doesn't start in your wallet or your reflection. It starts in your energy, the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room before you say a word. You've seen it before. A guy with no flash, no expensive clothes, no social proof. But when he speaks, people lean in. When he walks by, women glance. Why? Because his energy speaks before he does. It's calm, grounded, intentional. He doesn't oversmile. He doesn't try to fill silence. He doesn't perform. And that's exactly what makes him magnetic. Most men try to be impressive, but the ones who actually attract are the ones who've stopped trying completely. And that's the first shift you need to make. From performing to embodying. From chasing approval to commanding attention with presence alone. Presence is the first pillar of silent attraction. And presence doesn't mean being the loudest man in the room. It means being the most grounded. A man with presence isn't looking around for cues. He's not adjusting himself based on who's watching. He knows who he is, and that stillness pulls people in. When a woman feels that kind of presence, her nervous system relaxes. She can feel your attention, not as pressure, but as direction. It's rare, and that rarity is what makes it powerful. You don't get presence by talking more. You get it by needing less, by slowing down, by breathing fully, by not reacting to every shift in energy around you. That's when she feels you, not your words, not your image. You. Subscribe and hit the bell, because in the next part, we'll break down the trait that triggers her attraction before she even understands why. Let's talk about emotional control, the second pillar of attraction. Not the kind that suppresses everything, but the kind that contains it. Most men are emotionally reactive. They get anxious when she pulls away, frustrated when she's unclear, eager to fix every little disconnect. But a man with emotional control doesn't need to chase clarity. He creates it by staying grounded in himself. When she tests him, he doesn't flinch. When she's emotional, he doesn't mirror it. When there's silence, he doesn't panic. That stability is rare, and it's magnetic, because it signals strength, not just physical, but psychological. She starts to relax, not because you solved her problems, but because she can feel you won't be moved by chaos. You've become her anchor, and anchors are irresistible. Now we move into the third pillar, body language and silence. Most men underestimate how much they say without speaking. Their posture is anxious, their eyes dart, their gestures overcompensate, and it all says one thing: I'm uncertain. But the man who owns his space, who breathes fully, moves slowly, and holds eye contact without tension, he doesn't need to say much. Women read these signals instantly, not consciously, but biologically. When you can pause mid-conversation, let silence breathe, and stay relaxed while she fills the gap, that moment shifts everything. Because now you're not chasing connection, you're letting it come to you. It tells her, I don't need this moment to go a certain way. I'm good either way. And that detachment, That comfort inside tension is rare, which makes it unforgettable. Let's talk about intent without need. The fourth pillar. Intent means you know what you want. You're not shy about it. You look her in the eyes. You say what you mean. But here's the key. You're not attached to outcome. Neediness is when you require her response to feel validated. Intent is when you express interest and stay centered, whether she accepts or not. That gap is everything. When she feels that you're grounded in your desire, but not dependent on her reaction, you create safety and polarity at the same time. She doesn't feel chased. She feels seen. And that shift changes how she interacts with you. She opens up. She leans in. Not because she has to, but because you're not pulling at her. You're holding your ground. The next layer is this. Attraction isn't built through effort. It's built through alignment. When your words, body, and energy are all saying the same thing, calm, present, clear, people notice. Women feel it. You're not saying you're confident. You're being it. You're not trying to impress. You simply show up without needing to. That's when she starts to mirror you. She slows down. She gets curious. She starts investing. Because she senses this isn't the typical performance. You're not performing masculinity. You're embodying it. Quietly, steadily, with no desire to prove anything. This is when you become different from every man she's used to. Not louder, not flashier, just real. And real is rare. That's why it works. Now let's bring in Stoicism, the mindset that elevates all of this. A Stoic man doesn't suppress emotion, he owns it. He feels desire, tension, even insecurity, but he doesn't act from it. That self-command is rare, and women sense it immediately. Because when you're not reacting to her mood, not adjusting yourself to gain her attention, not chasing clarity or affection, you show her something few men do: emotional independence. You're not cold, you're composed. You don't avoid connection. You just don't cling to it. And that calm detachment, that's what creates curiosity. She starts to wonder about you, think about you, chase the experience of being around your stillness. Because Stoicism doesn't make you distant, it makes you magnetic. Abundance is often misunderstood. It's not about having 10 women in your DMs. It's about knowing that you don't need any of them to feel whole. That mindset shifts everything. Most men act from scarcity. They believe this one woman is their only chance. So they overinvest. They people please. They ignore red flags. But when you live in abundance, you stop chasing. You start choosing. She can feel that in how you speak, in how you listen, in how you're willing to walk away. Not because you're playing games, but because you respect yourself more than you crave her approval. That energy turns the dynamic upside down. You're no longer trying to earn her attention. You're observing whether she deserves yours. And that flips attraction on. True attraction doesn't happen when you impress her. It happens when she respects you. And respect is built when you show that your values aren't negotiable. When you say no without guilt. When you stand firm without being aggressive. That kind of internal clarity makes her pause. Because now she's not just reacting to your looks or charm, she's feeling your framework. You don't shift based on her emotions. You don't soften your standards to keep her interested. You lead, you listen, but you don't bend. Most men are so eager to please they forget who they are in the process. But the man who stays rooted, he becomes different. Because she knows, if I step into his world, I'm entering something solid. You don't attract women by doing more. You attract them by needing less. Less approval, less attention, less validation. When a man walks through the world with quiet confidence, focused purpose, and no need to prove anything, that's when people notice. That's when she notices. Because she's used to men bending, trying, over-explaining. But you just show up, solid, present, selective. And that selectiveness is powerful. Not because it makes you hard to get, but because it shows you know your value. You don't offer your presence to just anyone. It's earned. That shift, from being available to being intentional, changes everything. She stops wondering if you're enough. She starts wondering if she's enough for you. Here's what most men never realize. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be centered. Centered in your values, your tone, your time, your attention. When you move from that place, you stop performing. You stop chasing. You stop worrying about what she thinks. And ironically, that's when she starts thinking about you. Not because you're trying to control the outcome, but because you've taken control of yourself. You're not the loudest, not the richest, not the flashiest, but your presence lingers. Your calm creates gravity. Your clarity draws curiosity. You're not there to impress. You're there to lead. Quietly, powerfully, consistently. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Attraction is not a performance. It's a reflection. She doesn't fall for your words. She falls for how your energy makes her feel. Safe, curious, challenged, alive. And that only happens when you lead yourself first. When you master your emotions. When you protect your attention. When you